All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. If you're back. So, for those of you who were in the last class, I was thinking a little bit more about it. And the whole last class, if you weren't there, we were talking about basically the the mechanics of how we see images in our mind, such that we might be able to see emptiness directly because of it. And then it's really interesting how content kind of flows together. The more I'm teaching, the more it seems like it's like perfectly designed that even I'm like I couldn't have designed it better than this, you know. And so it's really you know, I realized how much what an incredible blessing it was to be able to teach that course. And today also happens to be um one of those special days where we make extra special efforts to see the divineness in everyone around us. Like it's one of those days where we're just like it's like a practice day where you're like let's just try a little bit harder today than other days, you know. And I think it's quite auspicious that we were talking about some of the deepest things that we can study in Buddhism, and we can study and it's not Buddhism as a religion. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the idea behind everything, like the way that your world works. Period. Right? It doesn't. It's nothing else but that. You know. And then people make religions based on great ideas. Okay, fine. If it works, if it can work, it can function that way. But the idea is the idea. Um, and then we're going to talk more about emptiness today, but we're going to talk about how to get ourselves in the state of mind to be able to see emptiness, because it's not just like because the whole path, right? Like we always talk about, oh, got to see emptiness directly. Yes, fine. But like once you see dependent origination directly, when you see the mental image arising out of your mind, out of your karma, basically, or in your mind, or something like that, and you perfectly see and directly see how it is that stuff becomes stuff, how things become things for you. And then when you sit down to meditate afterwards, to go into emptiness, right? Like, right? It's not just like under the influence of having seen how a seed ripens in your mind as a mental image, and how that mental image then becomes the object, right? Becomes the thing. It becomes the new objects, the cactus, right? Or it becomes the tissue box, right? Whatever it is, like the pot, under the influence of having seen that directly. Then when you go into meditation, you know, what if you have well, I'm going to argue something different, but you need to have a really good meditation practice to be able to then get into an actual experience of shamatha, and then to be able to get your mind into a place where it could see emptiness directly, right? So under the influence of having seen dependent origination directly, which is also under the influence of all these other things that you're doing as well, such as meditating, such as studying, such as some kind of movement practice that moves the prana in the body and gets you attuned to that, such as serving people who are in need, such as maybe having a teacher and serving them as well and serving their projects. Under the influence of all of those things, then when you see that, will push you to see dependent origination, the seed opening, that will push you to get there directly. And then you just sit in meditation, and then you have the you have the higher experience directly. And so what we're going to do today is, we may get there if I stop talking. We might get to the point where we're going to see what happens when you reach shamatha. And there's this really cool discussion that Pabonka talks about what happens in the inner body when you reach this shine, this shamatha, perfected quietude. Like, what does that look like? What does it feel like? What's happening in the subtle body? He doesn't go into all the details of that. You need to get into, I don't know, Tantra 14, Diamond Way 14, 15, 16, something like that, to get all of those details. What actually is happening, right, with the inner winds. But it's a nice little introduction to it. So if we can get there today, that'd be really cool. So shut up, Tim, and let's start. All right. Let's get this up on the screen. You want this one? Okay. Just to sort of locate where we are, we're actually doing, last class we did a full review of the last 3 terms of this meditation chapter, of the meditation chapter. Did I put it in here? No. We did a full review of all of that. So if you'd like to review all of that, go to the previous class. But Pabonka also taught us as a teaching tool to review what's been previously taught. Always, there's a reason for it. So we reviewed the whole chapter. We talked about the 6 preliminaries, how to get set up for meditation. We reviewed the 5 problems and their 8 solutions. And we also went over the 9 levels of meditation. So now we're going to start on, we're actually in the emptiness chapter now, but Pabonka continues on with a little bit more information about things that we need to know that's going on in meditation now that you know the whole structure of it. Okay. So we finished with this last line here, which was just a one-liner, which basically said we're now in our 4th section of the meditation. And we're going to be talking about 6 powers. Druk is 6, Top is power. How do we use these 6 powers to achieve the 9 states of meditation? So that's where we are. There's 6, as we're moving through our meditation and getting more advanced, there's different things that one does to get there. As you move, the practices and the things that you do change to move you forward, which is basically what it's saying. Like, you don't do calculus if you don't know how to do algebra, right? Doesn't make sense otherwise. So let's have a look at this. Who wants to go first? Some of you are hiding as interpreters. Good job. You don't have to read the text. Let's see here. Francisco, I like your purple sweatshirt today, so you can go first.
Thank you, Tim. Semna danko tope topda nipa pampe to nupa dan chipa ni trapa ngapa trupa ni shekzi
Shin,
ni
shin, shin. Good,
sheshin.
nice, Francisco. Okay, if you need a sentence to learn a lot of numbers, here's a good sentence to learn numbers. Here's the first level. It's the power of listening, the power of learning, the power of listening to the instructions from our teacher. Okay. And we'll talk more about that in a second. So the first power is the power of learning the meditation instructions from your teacher. Tope top. All right. The second level, Nipa, is basically is the power of thinking or contemplating about the instructions. Right, contemplating the instructions, thinking about those. So on the first level of meditation, you're basically listening to, you're just listening to the teacher, right? Your ears are open. Maybe it's going in one ear and out the other. Maybe you're kind of paying attention, but not really. The second level of meditation of the 9, the second of 9, is you contemplating, thinking about those instructions. Okay. The third and fourth level, Sumpa and Shipa, both of those together. So here's a bunch of numbers. Sum is 3, Shi is 4, Ni means 2, but in this case, Ni means the 2 of the previous. Okay. Third and fourth levels of meditation. It's the power of bringing, and it's the power of Drempa, bringing and holding our mind on the meditation object. Okay. Just holding on to the object, right? Where if you remember in level 3, it's called the continuous stream with patches, right? Like, yes, this hole is getting bigger. By the end of the class, the hole in my jeans will be big enough that you'll be able to see it, right? You're having patches. You are patching up the little hole in your gene, meaning you're patching up the little spaces between being on the object. So being on the object, you're in level 3, you're in the object more than less, even though you have patches of it. And when you get to the fourth one, there's Shipa, the Semne Shi, you are in the, you can't lose the object. I mean, there's a lot of other things going on, but you're just forcefully pulling yourself onto the object. All right. So the fifth, Nipa, and sixth level, Drukpa, those two together, it's the power of watchfulness, Sheshin. And if you remember, watchfulness, Sheshin, is all about detecting whether you're about to move off the object. You're detecting whether you are, if you're in a state of dullness or a state of agitation. If you're in a state of subtle dullness, or if there's a threat of subtle dullness or a threat of subtle agitation, right? So in the fourth and fifth, you have the power of watchfulness. All right, let's see who would like to read. You're a backup interpreter. I love how all of you have your screens on and backup interpreters. How about Natalia Zahorico? Let's do 223. This is a short one. Good luck. Good job. You picked one. That was easy.
Thank you. Dunpa, Chatpa,
Gep,
Yitz,
and Gepa.
Gepa,
Mhm.
Gepa, Nitson, uh, Gru, Tu, Pa,
Gupa.
Gupa,
Uh-huh.
uh, Dripe, Topki, Drupa, Teshipa, uh, Garsem, Nyedu, So, Soy, Kiepsu, Chatsin.
Shason. Nice. Shason.
Thank
Good.
you.
So I was correcting numbers because those are good for us to know. So we have Dumpa and Gepa, those two, the seventh and eighth levels of meditation. It's the power of effort. So what this means really is that at this point, you've mainly stabilized your meditation and just a little bit of effort is required to keep you there. And then at the ninth level, Gupa, you have the power of Dripa is like habituation, like the power of complete habituation. Okay. And then Pavanka goes on to say all these details, Shipadna, and then with the R here, all of these nine levels have been explained already. Sin have like this is means that the verb has all basically sin after a verb means it's already been done. The verb has already been done. Like, so it's basically kind of indicates time. And so then you're able to tell whether the verb is past, present, or future. So sin gives you a sense of it's already been done. She means explain. So it was already explained. So individually, those nine levels previously in detail. Okay. Once you learn Tibetan, learn the structure of it, it's opposite to the English construction. So if you're trying to figure out a sentence, go find a verb, typically. Go find the verb and then build it backwards from the English. And then I always kind of wonder, well, what does it do to your mind when, so instead of saying it happened, explain, it was explained individually, each of the nine levels previously in detail. What if you heard the words as detailed previously, the nine levels individually explain they were? Then you sound like Yoda, right? Right? If you go to Return of the Jedi, Francisco, the scene where Chewie and Han Solo are with the Ewoks and they're about to be burned, and the Ewoks come out and they're doing a little prayer. They're doing a prayer in Tibetan, 100% Tibetan. It's really cool. So maybe Yoda as my first teacher was some kind of secret message to get Tim into Tibetan. He loved the Ewoks. The Ewoks were amazing, right? But but really the point of this is also to get your mind into a different way of thinking. Like if you construct your language in a different way, what possibilities are available to you? We'll talk about that's a different class. I can do a whole class on that. All right, next line. Let's see here. The four modes of focus. Okay, so now we just said six powers. There's six different powers that you're utilizing along the way, right? You listen to your teacher. And then you think about what your teacher says. And then you keep bringing your mind back to what your teacher says. And then you're watching your mind to make sure that your mind isn't wavering from what your teacher has said. And then you're making efforts. And then finally, you're completely habituated. All right. Now, there's 4 modes of focus. What are those? How about Marina? Can you read 224, please?
Gapatela i che shi yotsuni semne tanponi trimte chukpatan varpan gache chin chukpa kietpani so vetam chete chepa mie par zukpa dupa soumie
Gopa, 9.
kopa soumie du hungi drupa chikpa in.
Good, nice. All right, so now we're in the 5th of 5 sections of the meditation chapter. Here's the 5th section, Napane Dela. So this brings us to the 5th section here, which brings us to the 4 ways that you have your mind, the way you focus your mind, Dela. There's 4 different ways of doing this. So at the first 2 levels, all you are doing is basically forcing through some kind of intense effort to put your mind on the object. When you first meditate, it's basically just like trying to get a kid to sit at the dinner table after they've had 10 cookies, right? When my nieces and nephew had this chocolate white cream pie Oreo delight after Christmas, it was a lot of force to get them to go to bed, right? And a lot of crying and a lot of and your mind is the same thing. Your mind is like a 4-year-old's mind, you see. And so the first 2 levels of meditation, you're just basically being like, I'm the adult. We're going to sit on this object. What do adults do? They meditate. They stay on the thing they're supposed to stay on, right? So you're basically parenting your mind, right? You're basically saying, nope, we're going to tighten down on this object. You think about it for 2 seconds, and then you're off thinking about your lunch, or you're thinking about your boyfriend, or you're thinking about the person that said something irritating to you last night, right? Then you're like, no. Eyes of the teacher, right? And that lasts for 5 seconds and you move on, okay? You're forcefully bringing it back. So Parvana in the next 5 levels, okay? So between 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, all right? We have a stream, Jupa, and it's interrupted, Che. So we're focusing in a stream with interruptions for the next 5. Now, what does that stream mean? It's not just about, this is, okay, we had a question Tim had a question. The question I had was, once you're on the object at level 4, right? So level 3, you're off in patches. 4, you're on the object. 4, 5, 6, and 7, you don't lose the object, but dullness and agitation are present. And I said, how could you watch for agitation and dullness and be on the object at the same time? How, because wouldn't that be moving off the object if I'm focusing on the eyes of the teacher and then my Station mind is like, ooh, I feel dullness, right? And then you go, oh, I feel dullness. I have to put the correction in. Okay, let's uplift ourselves. Let's think about leisure and fortune, or let's think about the smell, the sweet smell of your girlfriend, or something like that, right? Whatever brings your mind up. You know, are you still on the object? That was my question. And Pabonka seems to say that between levels 3 and 7, you're focusing in a stream and there's some kind of interruptions. Now, what type of interruption they are, I think it becomes less and less. And I would probably say that the interruption doesn't break the stream. Maybe. I don't know. I'll let you guys think about it. All right. At the 8th level, Gepani, you have your stream, Jukpa. And now between Che, which is interrupted, it's Chepa Mepa. There is uninterrupted. The stream is uninterrupted. And there's also some conscious effort. Again, you're making efforts while you're in an uninterrupted stream of focus. So at this point, you're just putting a little bit effort in. And then at the 9th level, spontaneously, you focus without any effort at all. Somendu. So spontaneously, you're focusing on the object in a continuous stream without any kind of effort at all. All right, 225. Let's have a look. Who would like to read? How about, is it Sana or is it Sana? Like Anna with a Sa. Sana or Sana?
Sana.
Sana. Okay, great. Let's do 225.
Uh,
Just make noises. Don't worry about it.
okay. De, yang, sem, na, dang, po, dang, ni, pa, yin, ki, ka, cow, bing,
Jing.
ding, go, god,
Good.
go, sha, che, ning,
Xing.
xing, ting, ding, zing,
Mm-hmm.
nung,
Yeah, good job.
sha,
Che.
sha,
So
che,
this last S makes instead of sha, it makes it
sha,
like a shay, like an AI
okay.
together. Shay.
Sha, she,
Yep.
lei, lei,
Mhm.
me, on, be, ba, ba,
Way. So
ba,
this is not obvious. B is a w, so way.
we,
Mhm.
here the same,
Mhm.
be,
You're doing great.
bing,
Mhm.
bing,
Jing.
go,
I'm sorry. This one is the J sound. You just will learn. Don't worry.
okay, go,
Mhm.
ki, ting, zing, gi, bar,
Mhm.
do, chu, cho, chu,
Ch.
chu, mi chur ki nga
Ta.
ta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nyad nya
Mm-hmm.
yo
Joke.
jog ring man sing
Ching. Ching.
ching.
Only one more line. You're doing great, Sana.
Okay, danke. Around she
Mm-hmm.
green go pa i cow yin pa de tower sha sha
Shock. Sing.
sha
Mm-hmm.
sha sing
Ching.
sing
Good job.
ching.
Yay. Excellent. You got through your first line. Good job. Everyone has their first line. It gets better from here on out. Good job.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, Taeyang. So during the first Semne Dangpo Nipa, during these first two periods, yeah, so these first two periods, we should not jinga, like agitation and dullness. We should give they're so strong. Okay, first of all, sheche, right? Jinga is agitation and dullness are so strong and they're so prevalent, right? In those first two levels that we really shouldn't even pay much attention to them. Okay. The first two levels really are about just getting that toddler to sit at the kitchen table, right? For an entire meal without complaining, without crying, right? And if any of you have had children, you know how difficult it is to get them at that age to do that. And eventually they do, you know. But you shouldn't even worry about agitation and dullness at this point. Just let it go. We shouldn't even worry about whether they're ch or mi ch, okay? Whether they're interrupting or not interrupting the flow of our meditation. But what we must do here, we need to tighten down and hold on to the object, kind of with our watchfulness. So we're actually developing Sheshin here. So we're doing these two things, Drempa and Sheshin. We're watching ourselves off the object and we're bringing it back, that lasso. Okay. And that's why we described it this way. Okay. So really, don't worry that much about agitation and dullness when you first sit down to meditate. Basically, everything sucks. You're bad at everything at this point. Okay. Do you ever watch little kids play soccer or football in the rest of the world? You put like a bunch of 4 or 5-year-olds. Here's one team and here's the other team, and you put a ball in the middle. Do you ever watch them play? Literally, all the kids run to the ball, and then they just kind of run around, right? They don't even understand what to do, right? They just chase after the ball, right? Which is just like level 1 and level 2, the picture of the meditator, right? The meditator's running after the elephant and the monkey, right? So everything is poorly developed. Don't worry about how bad it is. It's just bad. Okay. Just know that everyone who starts to meditate, and when you become a meditation teacher, you're going to learn that you have to support people in this moment. You have to say, yes, No, you're not a bad person. No, your mind isn't louder than it used to be. No, meditation is not bad for you. You're just listening to the insanity that's going on in your mind for the first time. All right. And we're all insane in that way. You know, just let it go. That's basically what he's saying. Don't even worry about all these other things. Just sit on your cushion. All right. Next, who do we got here? Translator, translator, translator. You're all translating. How about Valerie? Is it Valerie or Valerie? Valerie. Yes, you. You just got that surprised look on your face. How about you read 227? Now, how do you say your name? I just like to hear it for the first time. Okay, thank you.
God, five, cups, cup, thing, gui, gore, nuyen, poi, bet, zo,
Mm-hmm.
ung, gung, zung, zet,
Mm-hmm.
stem, tem, na, beyond, God, go,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
So there's two words. So there's key, and then when you put the S on it, it's pronounced key, like long, extended out. So this is key.
ma,
Mm-hmm.
cho, pa, kun,
Mm-hmm.
thun, kongs, kong,
Mm-hmm.
pa, chat, mat, do, juk, pa, dang.
Yay! Excellent. Good job. Wonderful. Wonderful. Something happened. Oh, there it is. Okay. So everybody, like, there's a reason why we're reading out loud and we're giving all, and there's a powerful seed that gets planted when you read it and when you listen to other people reading. Okay, here we go. So during this, now we're at the 8th level. Okay, what's happening at the 8th level? We have to still make some little efforts. So chun say. Okay, we need to rely upon 10 a little efforts, basal, right? And then we need to make those slight efforts to put the antidote at the very beginning. Okay. So we're not going to have any kind of machupa. Oops. We're not going to have any kind of interruptions from agitation and dullness. So when we first sit down, we're gonna have a little bit of effort, okay, just to kind of get ourselves going. And so this is what it means to be in an uninterrupted stream. So this is focusing in an uninterrupted stream. Just a little bit of effort, and then you're there. And here we go. Everyone should raise their hand. It's only one line. Julia.
Um, do pa sol me dung ni pa pa jog pa
Pay. Joke pay. Go loon. Loon.
hun
Mhm.
ki yuk pa juk pa say cha
K par.
he pa so so jak pa yin.
Nice. Good job. Nice, nice. Now you can just sit back and relax, and maybe I won't call on you again. Wonderful. Okay, so at the 9th level, we make no efforts, no conscious effort. And this is why we can call this focusing spontaneously. All right. We make no efforts. You just sit down and go, right? Your guitar string is perfectly in tune all the time. Like you don't have to test all the strings to be like, oh, is something out of tune? You're just like, right? Perfect 440, right? And then, okay, so then this completes all the individual features of the 9 levels. All right. So he's basically talking about what goes on in the mind during each of those levels, the types of focus there is. All right, now we're at the actual state. Like now that we've reached the 9th level, are we at shamatha? No. That's the most disappointing part of this this chapter, right? Oh, but you told me there's 9 stages of meditation. Yes. So there's when you get to the 9th stage, you get to shamatha. No. So there's more to go. Yes. So wouldn't you call that the 10th stage or the 11th stage? No, there's only 9. Why? Because there's only 9. That's illogical, Tim. It's okay. There's only 9 stages and it's 9 plus. And I have a theory about this, but we'll talk about it later. 229. Let's see who has not. Kathy, would you like to read?
Della Cine no semne dupato ne yin chin cho modang ra ting chin le wa me du yung ring ne chu pa yung
Jung.
chu nang de chine che tun pale chomin
Nomen.
nomin
Good. Good.
nomin.
Nice work. Here is the 6th topic we're going to start getting into. All right. How do we actually reach the state of shamatha? Okay. He's like, okay, guys, just kidding. Here's something a little bit more. All right. So once we do reach that 9th level, from achieving to the 9th level, what's going on? There's no devoid, dangdrawa, devoid of subtle agitation, subtle dullness. All right, so you're there, those things are gone, right? And you can stay there for quite a long time without any effort in meditation, right? Tenzin. You're able to stay in there without any kind of effort. However, Min, this is not the real thing yet. Okay. We're not there yet at the real thing. Let's see what the real thing is. How much time do we have? 15 minutes. Let's see if we get there. Tracy, can you do the next one? 1:30.
Thank you. Ngô tô pa la ting in zin la lar yang kom shing in drip bar je pe lu sem shin jong ki ga ga de kie par chen tup ge la.
Okay, cool. Good job. So there's a picture here from the meditation chart. So this happens after the meditator, there's the, let me just get it up. It's easier if I just. Okay. Now let me share this so you can see it. Okay. So 28 down here on the left, this is the meditator at level 9. Okay. But there's still more to go up here. All right. So now we're talking about the guy flying here, right? And then 31 is, they're pretty close. Like this is where we're just getting close to the end. We're getting to shamatha, that is. Right. So we're at this part of the chart, just so everyone can understand what the picture is. Projection. Okay. All right. So what does this have to say? We need to keep coming. We need to habituate ourselves, dripa. Okay. We need to keep habituating ourselves and keep coming back to our concentration over and over again. So to actually achieve shamatha, we have to keep doing this practically, habituating ourselves over and over and over again to this state of effortless. Your string on your guitar is already always tuned. Okay. And then we start getting to this thing called Xinjiang, right? Which happens in the mind and the body, Lusem. And the full thing is Xinjiang Kigawa Gade, which means the extraordinary bliss of mental and physical pliancy. Okay, weird. Oops, let's get the whole thing in there. The great bliss of that happens in the mind and the body, where the mind and the body are completely, there's an experience where they're completely, the feeling is so good that you then are able to direct it towards virtuous objects completely, 100% without a problem at your will. And you feel so good. Your body feels good. Your mind feels good. And it's more than just feeling good, but it's just a description of it. That you're then able to reach the place where you are able to absorb your mind entirely into the object, which in this case would be emptiness, but you're able to absorb it so entirely that it's kind of like if you were to feel it, like, and be aware of the feeling entirely, it would just feel like pure bliss. Okay. And then your mind scoots up to the first level of the form realm, and then you're able to see emptiness directly. Okay. But by the power of your habituation of doing that meditation over and over and over again at level 9, you start taking on this feature of great bliss of mental and physical pliancy in the mind and body. Okay. What does that mean? Yeah, we actually got here today. Anastasia, can you read 31, please? 231.
Deyan Shinjan ni lesem Shinjan gondan dewa ni lelo Shinjan ki dewa ngar kyo.
Okay, from there, so of the two types, we're separating these two types into mental, or excuse me, physical, like body, and then mental. We're putting those two together of this great bliss of mental and whatever the words we're using, Xinjiang. Okay. Of those two, so there's two types, body and mind. The first one, the one that comes first is the mind. So the mental pliancy, where your mind is now under your complete control. I don't like the word control because it sounds too like, I don't know, fascist or something like that, but it's not like that. Like you're completely in this place of your mind can go wherever it needs to go. That comes first. All right. However, the pleasure of Xinjiang, the feeling of it, comes first in the body. Okay. Let's try it again. There's two types of Xinjiang, mental and physical. And then there's pleasure that comes along with those. All right. You achieve perfect mind, the pliancy of the mind first. And then the pleasure of the physical body comes first. Okay. So your body feels good first before you develop the capacity to control all of it, if that makes sense. All right. Let's find out what's going on. Ooh, Janine. Oh, because you're not translating. Gotcha. All right, 232.
Okay, thank you. De yang luki nangang lengi lung si bei de yam ham go bolang klan pa kletpa shibem ta tabu she ska sa shul la pa sam mo rengpa tabu tsing yung
Jung, Shik Jung.
Chik Jung. Okay.
Okay. So what's happening at this when the body is feeling pleasure? And this is where he starts talking about the inner winds. This is when it gets cool. All right. So there's a certain type of inner wind, lung shiva. Lung is the inner wind, the prana. And that is put to rest. And what type of that wind is that? It's Nyanlen, sort of just for lack of better words, it's like undesirable, right? Undesirable physical states are put to rest. All right. And that produces within us a feeling of pleasure. Right. So certain undesirable physical states, like pain, for example, like you don't feel pain anymore, even if your back hurts. Your back will stop hurting, at least when you're in this kind of place. When you're in this type of meditation, your body, the sensations of your body, the only thing you can feel are good feelings. And they call it a kind of bliss, a kind of pleasure. And when you come out of a meditation like this, it has a feeling of descending, And it's like, and then your body is like, oh, hello, your back hurts, your knee hurts. It's like, okay, this is why it's called about habituating, right? And the place where you typically feel it first, what's the word here? Sorry, I have to look up a word. Yeah, okay. The place that you feel it first is kind of at the top of your head. And the way they describe it here is that a lakpa, a hand, gift of liberation, thrust into your hand, namdra lakchang, right? There's like a warm hand that gets put on the top of your head. So if everyone does this and you rub your hands together, right? And then put that warm hand on the top of your head. That's how they describe the feeling of pleasure. Right? It's almost warm and it kind of feels like it's in your brain. And then they also say it's also like if someone put their warm hand there while they were cutting your hair. Like I love going to the salon. I hate, they touch your head, get a shampoo, leaning back and they're just massage. I don't know. At least that's what my stylist does. I don't know what yours does, right? But you're just leaning back and they're massaging your head, and that's what it feels like. That kind of feeling. At least that's what it says here in the text. And we have 2 minutes. We're not going to waste any time. Let's see. We're running out of people who have their cameras on that I can't call on. I can call on. How about, did we call on Teresa yet? Nope.
Nope. Okay. Dema taksem nyumong pe choksu gyorne gewa lagang du komi rongbe ne gan lanzi ne sem shin chang. Okay.
Nice. Good job. So what happens here? First, you feel this kind of pleasure in the body where you're just like, oh, finally, this feels good. It's like if you, I don't know if you, like, I hurt my back last week and I took a bunch of anti-inflammatory, right? And I took too many, but I took too many so I didn't have to feel the pain, right? That feeling when the pain goes away and you're just like, ah, oh, that's how it's supposed to feel, right? So you first have that. And then secondly, what happens here is that then triggers the pliancy of the mind. Okay. So the pleasure in the body triggers the pliancy of the mind, which means that you can't have any more negative emotions again. In the sense of being in this meditation. It does not mean you're an arhat. Got to be careful. Okay. In the meditation, the pleasure arises, then your mind goes to this place. And your mind is no longer going into an undesirable state where it's being, how do I say this? Negative emotions aren't influencing the mind at this point. How about that? The negative emotions are not influencing this mind at this point. And then you're being urged. Let's see here. Where is it? You're being urged to do whatever good deed you want to do. Okay. So it's kind of a cool space, right? Your body feels great. Your mind, the negative emotions of the mind are somewhat pacified at this point, maybe dormant. They're not eliminated. And then you're able to put your mind towards doing only good things. Like your mind only wants to go there. which you can kind of imagine why you would want to go see emptiness directly because you're getting closer to this. And then next week, on Monday, we are going to then continue on with this. Today is what day? Okay. All right, cool. We will continue on with this and we'll learn a little bit more about the different states of pliancy. We will get into what shamatha is. We'll get to the platform of meditation. We might actually finish. No, we won't finish next class. We're getting close to finishing the meditation section to move on to emptiness. So, all right, everyone. Thank you for joining. Wonderful to see all of you today.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. And we'll continue with this next week. And as I said, this is one of those special days. Maybe get a little suspicious about the people around you. Maybe they aren't who you think they are. Maybe they could be someone who's trying to teach you something. Or maybe they're showing you the door to the divine. Good luck. Have fun. Thank you very much. Thank you, translators. Thank you, tech team. And yep, let's say goodbye to each other and see you on Monday.
Thank you, thầy Tim.
Welcome.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Vielen Dank,
Tim.
auf Wiedersehen.
Cảm ơn Ngoan Vũ.
Thank you, teacher. Please stay.
Дуже дякую.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Timla. We love you.
Can I do a heart?
Speaking
There
of
they
I
are.
have the heart.
All right. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Ngoan Vũ dịch rõ ràng quá, mạch lạc quá. Cảm ơn em. Good night, Ngoan Vũ.